The reveal trailer for Pokémon Legends Z-A that we got at Pokémon Day 2024 didn't really tell us much past the title and a few Pokémon, and also Mega Evolution being confirmed. While this is awesome for speculation, it did raise a very interesting question when we saw everything change from the confidential documents to that futuristic blueprint-like style. It looked modern, very modern, unlike what we got in Pokémon Legends Arceus. So hey, I'm not so a strainer, and is it past or future? Let's get into it. We only had one Pokémon Legends game up until now, and that was Pokémon Legends Arceus, a game set in Hisui, the region that would eventually become the Sinnoh that we know today. This, despite being our only exposure to what we can assume now is a series, instantly created the idea that a Legends game would be set in the past. And to me, it doesn't change with this one, but some people are not so sure and believe it will be set in the future, or maybe in both. The change that I mentioned, the one from the documents to the super futuristic Lumiose, seemed to show an ultra-developed Kalosian city that was even ahead of the metropolis that we have explored back in 2013. This, together with the word redevelopment, seemed to be throwing people off in a futuristic way. In my opinion, while the trailer is ambiguous enough for people to be able to speculate about both, I think that there are some key moments that tell us all we need to know about this, or at least they tell us enough. First off, we have to talk about one of the theories, the one that since Scarlet and Violet showed us a game that touched on both future and past, it would mean that the same would happen here in Pokémon Legends Z-A. While it is true that the games blurred the lines between past and future and that the floodgates of different timelines influencing current day are way beyond open, it's also important to note how Pokémon Legends Arceus was not influenced at all by the concepts discussed in Pokémon Sword and Shield, with its only connection being the references the Galaxy team had to the region of Galar, like Professor Laventon, Kamado having the Galarian armor and the Galarian wheezing in their headquarters, for example. This means that while possible and even likely that we have some references to Paldea or even some characters related to other characters we met, the ancestors we all expect to see, especially considering the very likely proximity between these two regions, the concepts discussed in those games will probably not affect the ones in Pokémon Legends Z-A. But while I don't think the game will be between the past and future, I do believe that it is focusing on how someone views the future or wants the future to be. Another important thing to keep in mind is the word legends. A legend is not made in the future, it is made in the past. We are told about lore, about legends, about myths that happened before us, not in the future. That very word implies that we are about to live something that we didn't even know about or only heard about in tales, and that fits Zygarde perfectly considering how forgotten that Pokemon was. In this case, we didn't know about this redevelopment, but after its reveal, a 5-second Google search that every single PokeTuber did would point you in the direction of the Haussmann renovation of Paris, something that happened in the 1800s to the very city that inspired Lumiose. So, we know that we'll probably be seeing Pokemon's version of this. And while the goal of Haussmann's renovation was to beautify the city and unite the neighborhoods through boulevards, we know that the goal of whoever is doing this, the one I'm calling Team Quasar, is to bring harmony to people and Pokemon. And so, I'll show you this. This is the artwork for Lumiose City, the one we experienced in Pokemon X and Y, a city that clearly has harmony between humans and Pokemon. A city that is exactly what the person in the trailer wants. You wouldn't need to redevelop a city that was already what you wanted it to be. You would do it if it still wasn't that beautiful utopia. This alone confirms that we will experience Lumiose City in the past. And so, now you ask, why the futuristic stuff? Why give us such a detailed look down to the clothing of something that hasn't happened yet? Why is Lumiose City even more detailed? Well, that's very easy. Like I told you in the beginning, this game shows you someone's vision of the future. It is incredibly detailed, yes, and that's because that someone is likely what one would call a visionary, just like they call Lysander right here. There might even be a connection between that person and the Gen 6 villain, for example, like I talk about in this video that you should absolutely check out. Now, if that person imagines those things because they are just that much of a genius, or because they lived them, that's another story. We could be seeing someone that came from the present and fell into the past, like Ingo for example, and just like Ingo, that person might have glimpses of their former life. But the truth is, Paris is the city of lights for many reasons, and it isn't just because of all the pretty lights it has, but also the fact that it was where the Age of Enlightenment really got going. People with ideas that challenge the knowledge and understandings of the time. People that looked to the future in a way that most didn't think was possible. People we could call visionaries. That's what we're seeing in the trailer, a visionary's enlightened vision of the future. Someone that, faced with the issue of Pokemon and humans not being able to coexist, instead of deciding which side should win, tries to find a way to bring harmony between both. And all we know about that person, that member of Team Quasar, is that they will succeed as we have played through X and Y and explored the Lumiose city that their actions made possible. Not in the future, of course, but in the past. And that is all I have for you today. I cannot see a single reason for this game to be set in the future, as it wouldn't make sense with what the word Legends implies and with what they have showed us. But what about you? Are you Team Future or Team Past? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content and also ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. You can also become a channel member or check out my merch in order to further support the channel, and I'd be forever thankful for that. You can follow me on social media or check out one of my streams here and on Twitch every day of the week. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.